Hello and welcome to the Crisis Mode episode. I'm Adam Pecora and this is Requiem for a Tuesday. Things are not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. I am not happy to be here today. I'm not happy to do anything today. What is going on? We are living a time loop life. It's a movie that I don't want to be in anymore. Bill Murray was right to want to kill himself in Groundhog Day. This is a waking nightmare. It just doesn't seem possible that this can happen over and over and over again. And I didn't plan on doing this. My apologies, but we're doing a full-length sports corner today. I need to vent. I know I said we were getting back to sports or back to movies and shit. We will. Joker double feature next week. My weekend was completely obliterated by Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron, the dynamic duo of fucking retards that are somehow running a professional football team. And I'm not one of those guys who thinks I could coach. I truly don't understand what goes into being a head coach. No, it's a lot of hours, but what are they really doing? It seems like no head coach has ever been speaking on the sideline in the history of cameras. Don't understand that unless they're the play caller. But it's just like, what are they managing and who are they speaking to and when are they doing that? That's a mystery to me. Not the point here. How do we have the same offense as last year? Shane Waldron apparently had a similar system, and we knew that the whole time, but for it to be, it looks like Luke Getsy's offense all over again, except we were somehow able to run the ball. I'm going to be all over the place here because I'm an emotional mess, so I'm just going to let you guys know right up top. I knew in the offseason, it's like clean house, start over fresh. That's always what you're supposed to do. New coach with the rookie QB. Like, unless you know you have a great coach, but that usually is never the case. And there was no signs that we had a great coach. Like, the team improved, the defense especially improved, and we used the offensive coordinator as a scapegoat, despite there being no real evidence of the coach being good other than him being able to turn it around. Like, yeah, you couldn't turn around the horrible nothing of a team that was tanking in year one, so we gave that a pass. Year two, we give the slow start a pass for a strong finish, and the offense being bad because of the offensive coordinator. Like, technically there's logic there, but we knew there was poor game management. We knew there was, like, collapsed leads. And I said it on this show. You can go back and listen to me on this show last year. And I let them manipulate me into the narrative that it was all on the offensive coordinator. And it's not. It is not. It's on both of them because here's the thing. I don't know how good Pete Carroll must have been as a coach and how much he must have been involved with the offense, which I didn't think he was, because apparently Shane Waldron can't do anything on his own or what. You know what? It just doesn't make any sense that, like, how good really has Geno Smith been the whole time? It's just so confusing that Seattle could have been so successful with apparently not a good offensive line. And now we have what was technically supposed to be a middle of the pack offensive line, but the coordinator was bad and the quarterback was holding the ball too long. But now the quarterback isn't really doing that. But the offensive line is worse despite getting better players. Or I guess at least Darnell Wright has improved. And we have a guy who played center before instead of starting a guard in Lucas Patrick. Look, there shouldn't be regression on the offense. I get Caleb having rookie problems. I don't think there's anything going on that is on Caleb Williams at all. It is interesting seeing what it's like to have a first overall draft pick because it's just nonsense criticism for people who don't know anything about football. Like, it's casual criticism to where they just see him throw an interception and go, he's bad. And it's like, well, that's not really how that works. Now, the interception on that throw to DeAndre Carter, I mean, a late sideline throw, that's what happens. It gets intercepted. Of course, a rookie's going to do that, though. It wasn't good, but I mean, that's fine that happened. He was under pressure. He held it too long in that case. I will say the sacks that he took were pretty much just coverage sacks. He kind of held it too long and or didn't have anywhere to go. There wasn't like a lane for him to escape. But he was still under too much duress too quickly on the too many attempts he did throw it. And the second interception, I mean, contested catch to Rome. The defender got his hand in there. Other defender happened to be in a perfect position, made a circus catch to make that an interception. Like, again, I'm not worried about that. You're upset that he hit his receiver in the hands. Like, there's nothing wrong with either of those plays. Like, 2 of the sacks were bad. Obviously, the strip sack at the end can't happen. He made the motion like he was going to throw at the right time. Like, he knew the pressure was there and then still just held it too long anyway, waiting for the receiver to get open. It wasn't there. You have a tight end blocking their edge rusher. What is that? And the coach, I mean, he's a fucking idiot, obviously, and made a ton of mistakes in this game. They left the game on the field. I mean, an encroachment on a 4th down when the Colts are going to punt, gives them the first down. They go down the field, get a touchdown off of that. That's back-breaking. The special teams has been solid. That was their biggest gaffe of the year. We miss a 56-yard field goal coming up short, which does seem significant just because of how well kickers have been doing from distance so far, but it's ultimately not that unreasonable for him to admit that. But it sucks because of the margin of error in this game. Like, that could have made a huge difference. Of course, calling a timeout to go for 2. In the moment, I knew that was stupid. Either do it or don't. Like, if the field goal unit came on the field, then you're just stuck doing that. There's no reason to call a timeout there. Especially if the play is a dud. Like, that play sucked. They had no chance. And, Flus at the fucking press conference, same shit as always. We like the play. I don't give a fuck if you like it. Like, you're clearly fucking stupid if that's what you like. The 4th and goal, I mean, an option. You run it up the middle again. I don't care if it didn't work the first 3 times. Or let Caleb fucking throw the ball. Like, just a nonsense play because my logic, even thinking live, I was like, just go for it because you're going to give them 3 and then they're going to get the ball, or we're going to get 3, but then we're going to give them the ball back with 1:20 left at the 30-yard line, potentially. It's a touchback, whatever, good return. If you go for it and don't get it here, they're going to have to go 99 yards. That might happen. We might get a safety, so 2 instead of 3, and then we would get the ball back in that case, would be the extreme best case of not getting it, right? Or we score, Like, but again, or they have to go 99 yards. If they go 99 yards, honestly, that's on our defense. That was the worst call imaginable. Apparently the Packers called that against them last week and it completely burned them. So 1, they're familiar with the look because they saw it last week. Like, how creative are you? You're just going to steal a play that got them the week before? That's the fucking reasoning behind that? That's absurd. And then number 2, it's all about execution is what this fucking clown says. Don't call plays that your players can't execute. Number 1, the offensive line has not played well. That's either on them or that's due to your coaching. But no matter what, if you're so fucking good at coaching, then you should have the awareness to not put them in that position. I said the same thing last year. You keep saying it's about execution. Well, why aren't they executing? According to you, if it's about execution, what did you do wrong that they didn't execute that play well. Because now the still is burning the internet to the ground. It's fucking embarrassing. We have 4 linemen on their backs on the fucking ground while there are 5 Colts defenders 8 yards into the backfield. That's about execution. How could they execute it that poorly? Why are you calling plays that they can't or aren't able to execute? It's one of the two. Like, what an absurd thing to say, that you like that play. Come on, man. Nobody would do that. This only happens to the Bears. Nobody would do that in the entire league. Nobody's offensive line would end up in that position in the entire league. And also, when you come to the podium and you're like, look, it's only week 3. We're all about improving, getting better each week. Yes, that is true. I understand that either way, the season ebbs and flows. You could come out to a hot start and then go through a rough patch and then kind of get your shit back together and all that stuff. And a rookie has problems at the beginning. The issue is that you come out like a fucking amateur team, like you guys have never practiced before. Like the entire offseason is so you can be ready for week 1. When you show up in week 1 and you're the worst offense in the NFL, probably outside of Carolina, but that might have not even been worse. I don't even know. The point is just like the constant pressure, the offensive line not being able to handle stunts, not being able to block for the run, like just having no yards, no production, no capability at all. Yeah, it's easy to improve from that, frankly. When you have 100 yards total in the game, it's pretty easy to do better than that the next week. And then when your offensive line is just getting obliterated and your quarterback gets sacked 7 times and all the other terrible things that happen against the Texans, pretty easy to improve on that too. And then when the context is they're the worst run defense in the NFL, missing their interior defensive lineman who is the best player on the defense, and you still have no production against them, yeah, it was still technically an improvement, but an improvement on dog shit isn't saying anything. Like, oh, I put whipped cream on the dog shit. Now you'll eat it. That's not how it works. And that's all they're doing. Like, you're window dressing a piece of shit. Sure, it looks better. It fucking better look better. What the fuck? No, but we didn't want the final product to be ready week 1. But we should have had, if we had the performance we had against the Colts week 1, nobody would be panicking. There was a lot. Listen, they threw a lot of passes, way too many passes, and a lot of those schemes were fucked up. I mean, the reporters are getting on them in the press conferences too. He's like, yeah, we noticed you threw a lot in 13 personnel and then you ran a lot in fucking 11 personnel. And he's like, yeah, we like the looks there. It's about matchup. It's like, it's not about matchups. Like, you think you're so fucking creative? Oh, we're going to throw it with 3 tight ends. They'll never see it coming. It's like, cool. They still have the proper defenders to defend those guys if that happens. You're not going to fucking catch them by surprise with 40-year-old Mercedes Lewis running a fucking streak. Like, what are we doing? Caleb threw that ball. I think it was Gerald Everett, but it might have been Komet. I don't know. But they were both there. I think it was Gerald Everett who had his hand on it. And they're both there. They both ran the same route to the corner of the end zone. This is what happened with fucking Getsy. Why do we have 2 tight ends running to the back left corner of the end zone together? In what world is that some brilliant... I'm no fucking football genius here. Okay? I mean, you fucking put X's and O's on a piece of paper. I can scheme up a better play than that. I promise. I promise. That's fucking embarrassing. So to say it's execution is fucking absurd. One thing. And every time they show Waldron, he's shaking, which is as concerning as anything could ever be. Why are you so fucking nervous? I mean... It's just a nightmare. The players are starting to come out and like already start to seem pretty aggressive towards either the coach or the coordinator, if not both. The play calling is obviously fucking stupid. Caleb, he was like, I threw it 52 times. What the fuck? He then like turned that around and said all the, stuff you're supposed to say. But his reaction was like, oh, yeah, that is crazy. When they asked him about the fourth down play, he's like, yeah, I would have changed it. I didn't have enough time. Basically, again, he worded everything very carefully, so it didn't seem like he was talking shit about the coaching, but you could tell. Everybody was frustrated. The O-linemen all said it was fucking stupid. Now, they're not doing great either, though. I watched Tevin Jenkins just get pushed backwards onto his ass by a defender. That definitely had nothing to do with coaching. Because he was not, in this particular play at least, he was not like caught wildly out of position or something. He just got mauled backwards, and he's supposed to be our best blocker. So that was not encouraging. But the schemes are just whack all over the place. Like, there is good play design mixed in, but there's no rhythm. There's no good running plays. They seem to do everything but just try to run it between the tackles on just a straightforward handoff, though, too. I would love to just see them try that. They keep trying all these fucking wide zone schemes, like we have Trent Williams at left tackle, and we're getting 1 yard at best. Like, it's not working. It's not working. Why are you still doing it? In the fourth quarter, they tried to run a reverse. It's just like, you guys, stop taking longer to get guys the ball sideways. We need to get guys going north and south as quickly as possible because the offensive line cannot get there. They can't do it. If they clearly can't do it, stop trying. I mean, you're allowing dudes 5 yards into the backfield every time we try to go wide. You're trying to do it with screen pass. Like, we need to go vertical because we don't have the time. Stop running it out of shotgun. Like, stop saying, And then the reporters got on Flus with that shit too, with the play. I mean, it's really driving me insane. The fact that you can't with a straight face, I get some answers. You have to go, we got to review the tape. But the fact that some questions, like, do you really think we should be doing a throw with 3 tight ends? Like, the run game isn't working. He's like, well, we were committed to it today. We were committed to it. And then he's like, the ratio was 52 passes to 28 runs. And he's like, yeah, but we were more committed to it today. Like, he's just getting stonewalled by reporters because he's trying to lie and it's not even working. It was absolutely a mistake retaining this guy, and Caleb will be fine as long as he doesn't get killed back there. He clearly is very smart. The things that he's been able to do, the fact that this is his third game is incredible. It sucks that he will have to start over with a new OC next year, but that'll hopefully be the head coach, and we will just get it right. And fuck it, hire fucking Lincoln Riley. I don't give a fuck if that's what it is. Ben Johnson still would love that. We can't let Ryan Poles actually do his job this time. Don't force a defensive hire. Now, I don't know. It does seem like he wanted Eberflus, but I don't know that he had the option to hire an offensive coach. But that is maybe just me giving him too much credit. He makes mistakes too. But we gotta move on from this. And the first round draft pick should be on an O lineman. The Carolina pick should be on a defensive lineman, and then our other second rounder should be on another offensive lineman. We should sign another guy in free agency. Like, let's not give this any fucking chance, and that'll be fine. Now, am I truly just like on to next year? No, but I don't have faith in the regime. Just no matter what, the players, the talent is clearly there. That's what's so frustrating. That's why they're all so frustrated so quickly, especially DJ. Because DJ excelled last year in an also broken offense where he showed a lot of frustration late in the year, certainly. The fact that he's this frustrated this quickly is a telltale sign. Because he's also not even able to do shit in this either. He's not being used correctly at all. They're basically giving him like a couple bubble screens and slants just to like say that he got some catches. But he is never in the picture downfield. It's a travesty what's happening. And, you know, you look at one of those goal line plays, DeAndre Carter, the smallest guy on the team, is in as a fullback / tight end, basically, to block. It makes no sense. Just nobody is ever in the right position. It's like, oh, check out this crazy mismatch. Like, that would sound cool if nobody had any rebuttal to that at all. It's like Shane Waldron did all these play designs like in secret, and the players learned them and just weren't allowed to object or something, and nobody else saw them do this, and then they just showed up and gave it all a shot, and it's just like gimmicky, cutesy bullshit. I don't know. It's tough. It's just tough. Things need to change like immediately. Los Angeles next week, horrible. We're probably going to get fucking crushed by them. Like, our defense is good, but we're going to give them too many possessions and they'll just get worn out. Their defense isn't really that good, I guess. But I just don't see the offense doing enough to get a win yet because of the coaches. Like, the players are ready. They're super ready and eager to play normal football, NFL offense. But no, we're just the same fucking Bears. And speaking of that, on one last thing, a lot of people losing their shit. Like, oh, the Fields trade was a mistake. Number one, it was right to get rid of him. Okay? Yes, he's doing well on the Steelers. Great. It's his 4th year in the NFL. And his numbers are basically identical to what they were on the Bears last year, number one. Number two, he is now coached by Mike Tomlin, who is an established coach, a Super Bowl winning coach, one of the greatest coaches in the NFL, if not the. I think he's the longest tenured at this point. Could be wrong about that, but it's definitely close if he's not. That team wins and gets more than they should out of everything every year. No matter how many guys are hurt, no matter how bad their roster is, they always win more games than they should in more ways than you could ever imagine. And that is Pittsburgh Steelers football. Arthur Smith does seem like a good fit for his skill set, and he seems to actually be utilizing it, which means throws to the sideline, barely over the middle. Although he did hit a couple throws over the middle for once. But they're intentionally not asking him to do a lot, which is great. And their line seems to be a little bit better. They can certainly at least run the ball. And weapon-wise, it's about equal to what he had last year. So that is somewhat fair. But if he were on this team, what would happen? You know, Caleb got sacked 7 times. Justin would have got sacked 11. 2 of those, well, maybe less because 2 of them would have been fumbles that he lost. People seem to forget about all that type of stuff. He forces the issue late in the game. So he would have thrown an interception or 2 in the 4th quarter when we were trying to come back. He just would not be excelling right now if he were on the Bears. They wouldn't, like, wins don't translate through players in the same way. Like, every quarterback that is 3-0 would not be 3-0 no matter what team they're on. Like, yeah, again, it's a total normie take, just like the idea that Caleb isn't doing well. You know, you're saying, oh, the guy in his 4th year is doing better somewhere else in a new situation. That in no way relates to the old situation then. You know, he would have just had another year under Eberflus and he would have came out and sucked. I mean, now he's playing pretty well to where the compensation isn't looking great. Even if it does turn into a 4th rounder, it's like it should have been like a 4th rounder that turned into a 2nd. Is really what it should have been worth. I mean, I was disappointed in the return, but apparently nobody wanted the value. I mean, if anything, it's not a mistake for the Bears to have traded him. You could look at it like it's a bigger mistake around the league that other people didn't see the potential in him, which I and everyone in Chicago saw the whole time, and we squandered it. But it was time for it to be done. You know, what were we going to do? We would have had to pick up his 5th-year option at like this year for next year. And what? Then we would have paid him $25 million next year for him to go out there and get his ass kicked again this year. And it just wouldn't have been worth it. You know? Caleb Williams has played 3 fucking games. The idea that is not going well is just absurd. The offense is the problem. The coaching is the problem. He's doing everything he can to be great, and he looks great for a rookie as far as I'm concerned. The fact that he can just like read a defense, the fact that he can just get back and throw it. Now look, he's pushing those deep balls way over, like embarrassingly overthrowing guys. I get it. But he is still doing these throws on the run that are unbelievably athletic. He is still ripping it downfield. He got one deep ball to Rome that was beautiful. It's all there. He's going to settle in. Again, assuming the offense doesn't disallow that. If the coaching doesn't get in the way of him settling in, then it's going to be fine. If we can just get 80 yards a game rushing, we can get 3.5 yards a carry in a game, it'll do wonders. Like, we don't even know what this offense could possibly be. They haven't had a run play that worked, like one play that has worked really. So feels good to get it all out of my chest. This is my head and my chest like have been full. Like, I've felt a pressure on my chest all day Sunday. I'm going to run through my week 3 preseason picks compared to how it went down. We're going through the preseason picks and comparing them to the results every week this year here on Requiem for a Tuesday. Typically not as a full episode thing, obviously. It's at the end, just like this. So that'll be on the Joker episode as well. Pretty much went 500 again this week, just like last week. But there were extenuating circumstances in some of these games. I'm going to just run through it pretty fast. Jets, Patriots, that one was a no-brainer, really. The Patriots are not as frisky as everyone just jumped to assume right away after week 1. And that's what bothers me. It's like you hear people go like, oh, the Patriots, they won week 1, and then they went to overtime week 2. Like, they're probably pretty good. But it's like the Bears win week 1, have the ball with a chance to score against Houston week 2, and then blow this game. But either way, like, even then, it was already just like the Bears. What a joke. And it did look ugly, but I'm just saying technically, the Bears are like 3 plays away from being 3-0. It's horrific. They're the exact same fucking team. They're the same team. The coach is the problem. They're doing the exact same things. Anyway, the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers is looking better and better, which fucking sucks, but I'm so glad it's not happening to us. Rams, 49ers. I had the Rams. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I had the 49ers. Woofed on that one, but they also completely fucking blew that game. Don't know what to make of the Rams or the 49ers. I think the 49ers will get it together. I mean, unless their injuries just really sustain throughout the whole year again. Then they'll just have that weird season where they lose a bunch of games, just like 3 years ago, I think that was. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if either of those teams are good or not. Lions, Cardinals. Had the Lions. That was easy. Their defense is looking really, really good. The offense is not scoring a lot. No cause for concern at this point, though, because they can just run the fucking hell out of the ball better than anybody. The Lions are who I wish the Bears were in every way. I like our defense more, but outside of that, no, I mean, really just the offense, I guess, just the offense. But I mean, their style of play and everything. Really love Dan Campbell. The Cardinals, they're definitely frisky at the very least, if they're not good. I think their defense is just not there. They also did get hosed. They had a pick 6, and the refs just said, no, never mind. It's the 2-minute warning. And for some reason, that was not a reviewable thing. That was tough. Ravens, Cowboys, I had the Ravens. Cowboys came back late, but that game was a fucking dud. I barely even paid attention, and I was miserable after the Bears loss. Learned nothing about either team. Seahawks, Dolphins, Skylar Thompson. What more can you say? Definitely learned nothing about either team. Panthers, Raiders, Bryce Young is horrible. That's what this says, because for Andy Dalton to just come in and light it up, which he kind of did in the one game he played last year. But, I mean, this offense was much worse than the Bears in every way, and it was 100% because of Bryce. But, like, Bryce Young was doing, like, nothing. This really fucks up our second-round pick next year if Andy Dalton's going to play well for, like, the whole time. So I don't love that. The Raiders suck, and Antonio Pierce, big mistake. You don't hire the interim guy. Chiefs, Falcons, had the Chiefs. The Falcons are definitely not good. Raheem Morris, not a good coach. Called this right away, no problem. You don't pass on Bill Belichick to hire a guy who has only failed as a head coach in the past. And then they draft Penix, and Cousins doesn't look great, so maybe that technically is the right move, but like they just should not have signed Cousins. Long way to go, obviously, but whoever their offensive coordinator is, though, it isn't doing very well. They added all these weapons. They've been building them over the years. Then they add Darnell Mooney to that, who I know is a good, capable player, and they just can't do anything. Their offensive line is supposed to be, like, awesome. Like, they should be awesome on offense. And, if you don't go with Belichick, talk about a team that should have went offensive head coach. I mean, that it just seems like they whiffed, and they're going to be embarrassing. But they'll probably stick. I mean, the fact they stuck around is good. The Chiefs are, I mean, it's tough. They're like the 2016-17 Patriots at this point. Like they've like rapidly gone to the point where they're like, yeah, we're just going to get by with no talent. It's remarkable. Kelsey seems dead. I'm sure he'll turn it on when he needs to, but that's kind of what he is now. He's like a load management guy. Which pretty much means if Rashee Rice isn't open, they're fucked. Because it used to be if Kelsey wasn't open, there was Tyreek Hill running down the field or someone else running across the field. And it just seems like they don't even know how to utilize their speed anymore in that way because I don't know. I don't know why they want to play this dink and dunk bullshit, grind it out style every time. But I always wondered that about the Patriots, too, and they kept winning all the fucking time. When your defense is that good, you just want to burn clocks so they can go out there and just get stops and you can just burn clock. I get it, because they literally just know how to win, so that's the thing. Okay, that's fair. I talked myself into it. They'll be fine. I mean, not that they wouldn't have been fine. Bears, Colts. I obviously took the Bears, and no reason they should have lost this game. I mean, Anthony Richardson sucks also. He keeps just, like, jumping before he throws, like, on purpose, like, just to jump throw, and then he'll throw it, like, 15 yards over somebody's head. Or the one time the one interception he threw, he was, like, running up in the pocket and then, like, went parallel-legged. Like, he, like, intentionally doesn't reset his feet to throw and then sails the passes every time. And it just seems like that's a pretty easy thing to fix. Like, just stop doing that. There's nobody around you. Just stop, reset, throw. Like, you're a professional? I don't know. Whatever. Steelers, Chargers. I had the Steelers in this one, which is kind of surprising that I did that, actually, because I really like this Chargers team, but Herbert's hurt, so that season might be over. Look, I'm happy. Again, I genuinely am happy for Justin Fields. I don't think that I even sound salty when I'm saying this, but if I do, like I swear, I wanted what was best for him, truly, because he was being wasted here. He was only going to get wasted here. Like, if you're too much of a normie to understand that, like, he would not be playing well for the Chicago Bears right now, and the Bears would not be 3-0. I mean, maybe they end up 3-0, but like, because of the few bounces, maybe go differently. But I think that they're worse with him still, and I kind of think also, though, sneaky about the Steelers, I think that it was like a psyop, and Russell Wilson isn't even hurt. Like, he might be hurt for him to be the emergency quarterback instead of the backup. But I think Justin Fields beat him out in training camp, and like him, Fields, and Tomlin just kind of like agreed for like PR, for like Russell Wilson's ego and PR reasoning, that they're like, let's just say the calf issue that he did have like came back and Russ just still isn't ready. How are you 3 weeks off on your injury report, Russ? There's just no way. Like, he definitely lost the job, and they're using the injury as an excuse to say Fields got it. And then they'd have an easy excuse to bench Fields if he sucked. But now that he's playing well, they can just be like, well, we're going with the hot hand. And then, like, you know, Russ is a vet. He's a backup. Like, he's a pro. He'll be there for us if we need him. So I think it was just, like, brilliant PR maneuvering to go injury. Texans-Vikings, obviously I had the Texans. Another game where I was just like, what is happening? I'm not even going to watch this anymore. Concerning. As a Bears fan who is going to Minnesota for the Bears-Vikings game, why are they good? Why is Sam Darnold good? I don't think that'll hold up. Again, I just don't. I think the offense will continue to, like, move the ball. Like, they're not going to all of a sudden collapse. But I think he'll start turning it over. The defense will start to get weaker. All those sorts of things. But that is an alarming score. And Houston just got, they just got beat. They'll rebound. I'm not worried about Houston at all in that case. And Brian Flores is definitely going to get a head coaching job if this defense stays remotely good. I don't know why he didn't get one in the first place. It's apparently because he truly is just like berating players, which I didn't believe in the first place. I assumed they were being soft. I thought it was shocking that he got fired after how successful he was with such a bad team. But anyway, that's probably who the Bears will hire, and then which I still would be fine with. Actually, if we're going to hire one defensive guy, let it be Brian Flores, a proven winner also. Kind of, but not really. But who would the OC be? I don't know. I don't like it. Eagles-Saints, had the Eagles. That game was just ugly and disgusting in both of those teams. God knows what's happening on either side. Broncos-Bucks. Tough day for the Bucks. Got that wrong. Just yikes. That was just a big yikes. The Broncos, I think they're going to be frisky because of Sean Payton, just no matter what. But I don't think Bo Nix is going to be good. Packers-Titans, had the Packers. They're the better team, even with Malik Willis. I mean, how is he so good so fast? Talk about a good coach, Matt LaFleur. But not a good game manager, ultimately, because I'll never forget that championship game, kicking that field goal. What a giant mistake. The Titans are terrible. Will Levis definitely has ability, but I don't know if his decision-making is just always going to get in his way. The fact that the Packers are this good with Malik Willis, though. Honestly, the type of offense they're running, they should just keep Jordan Love out. If you can just run for 300 yards a week, it's kind of just working, and Malik Willis kind of looks awesome in there. And people are acting like, oh, Malik Willis, why did anybody ever think anything of him? Before that draft, they were talking about him going in the first round. That was the one where it was Kenny Pickett was the only one, and even that was a reach, I believe. The initial thing was from Liberty, Malik Willis was being talked about as a first rounder. And yes, he played terribly in Tennessee, but I mean, clearly he has ability. And when you watch him run, he is clearly a very elite runner. He looks the most like Michael Vick, frankly, the way he moves at least, than any other running guy that's come around. But with a 10th of the talent. Maybe not a 10th because he's looking great. I would have said that prior to these two games. Anyway. Browns-Giants, had the Browns. They're awful. Deshaun Watson is awful. He needs to be... They fucked that up. That is so... I would be so sad if I was a Browns fan because they're just trapped with the rapist who sucks at football. Everything about that guy sucks. The whole team hates him. I think if they should have just kept Joe Flacco as their starter, to be honest. That team was great. The defense was awesome with it. Now he was throwing a lot of picks. I do think that they should just play Jameis. But whatever. They're fucked. And then tonight we got 2 games going on, which I don't like the Monday night 2 at the same time. What's the point of that? I have the Bengals and I have the Bills. The Jaguars are terrible and the Commanders are terrible. And the Bengals really, really need this one. If they don't win this one, like, it really is a problem year for them. But they're a slow starting team. I think they'll be all right. So this was my venting session. Thank you for tuning in. Be back next week with the Joker double feature. You boys seeing an IMAX $26 ticket. Or 28. It was like 27 or 28 with taxes and all that. Absurd that it could cost that much. So it better be fucking great. That's going to definitely lead to scrutiny. Extra. But it would have been $18 either way. So it's like I spent $8 more to go to IMAX. Maybe sneak in a hoagie or something. So I feel a lot better about it. I don't know. And then we'll just have the week 4 recap at the end of that. If the Bears would just do better, then I could just do like a quick 5 minutes of sucking dick and we could move right on. But I need this, and it's sad, and I'm sad, and we're real close to panic mode. I'm going to give it till, I want to say I'm going to give it till the 6th game before it's full-on panic mode, but realistically, if there's a similar performance next week, we're probably hitting the button. Again, just to clarify, can't reiterate it enough, not on Caleb. Caleb's got it. He is so clearly very talented. I'm not worried about it. Just the coaching may, again, be the reason to worry about it, but I'm worried purely just that the coaching will ruin the team and they'll have no chance for the season. We're not going panic mode on the future until they announce Flus is coming back next year. That's when I would really lose it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Requiem for Tuesday. Please share these episodes with your buddies, with your pals, with your mama, with your daddy. I don't give a fuck. Get somebody to listen to this shit. Yeah, I'm hard. Yeah, jerk me. What? I don't know. RFAT.bigcartel.com for the merch. If you somehow want merch, I'd rather just have you rate, review, and subscribe. Let's get the numbies up. Then we'll get the other people to buy the merch because you're the loyal fan, and I appreciate you, and you don't owe me nothing because I love you. But I want to love the others, but I want them to pay. Or whatever. Nobody has to pay. You get the idea. I love this shit. Love doing this for free. Wink, wink. I'm just kidding. Rate, review, subscribe, share the episode, review the episode, subscribe. Thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, RFAT, you are fat, we are fat. Calculator.